Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Sawmill. My name's Bill. This is Pirate Solutions Forestry, and got to do a little bit of sawing this morning. Some small customer orders that I've been trying to get out of here so I can get on to some bigger stuff. We got to mill a bunch of oak flooring, 5/4 oak flooring. So I'm going to show you those, and I'm going to show you how bad we tore stuff up this week. We tore everything up. We tore up the sawmill. We tore up sawmill bands. We tore up a clutch. We knocked the mill off its stands, and we busted log stops, we busted log dogs, we busted just about everything. So we will be doing a video on some welding. I think I'll bring out my little buzz box, running off an extension cord out here. I'm gonna have to do some welding and fixing some stuff, but I got to get the rest of the cedar order. And I've got some, I'll show you in a second, some birch over here that I got to mill into 1-inch boards for a friend up the street. We cut 12 small cedar logs yesterday afternoon, and I've only got like 3 left to do, and then they're going to come get them and get all their little dinky pieces of cedar out of here. But I want to show you all the stuff that we broke. We broke stuff. We broke gloves too. We broke everything this week. It was just a disaster. So I've been testing these. This is another prototype pair of mechanics gloves. I'll show you what I've showed mechanics on them. I had to do a roof, and doing that roofing's pretty rough on gloves because you're dealing with those abrasive shingles all the time and holding them in place and sliding them up to that perfect spot, and so that wears gloves out pretty bad. Well, we, in 1 week, get from the back side here, so this is 1 week's work, and these all failed right at the stitch points in the fingers, just about every finger. So we tore these up. We showed mechanics, and they're gonna go to work on that. I actually have to show them another pair of gloves that I wear. Show them what the way that they they did it on their own because it's their product, but the difference in the fingertip stitching on the ones that last a little longer. So we knocked out the 60 fence boards here, 1x6 fence boards. Those are going to go out. I hope they're going to come get them, because if they're not going to come get them real soon, I'm going to have to stack and sticker these, or they're going to start to get some mold going on in there. And it's too bad because there's great airflow out here right now, but you can't have them sitting on each other like that. The ones that are pitch pine that still have a high sugar content in them, like that stack right there, they will start to mold. The white pine, like you see behind it, won't. And some of the center, the heartwood wood out of the pitch pine, like right here, these heartwood ones these won't mold, but the ones that were from the outside of the log, like the flitches and stuff like that, like right here, you can see the growth rings on that. These ones still have a lot of sugar in them, and they will mold if you leave them sitting on top of each other like that. So they're going to need to get stacked and stickered. Here is, just to give you an idea how small these logs were, that's 12 logs right there of material. Now they want to build some furniture out of this stuff, and I'll show you just a couple logs over there on the forks, and I'll show you my setup for cutting them. But they wanted 1.5 inch material and some 2x4s for legs. So we cut them 2x4s. We cut them 1.5 inch material for a bench seat, like you see the ones outside out there. And also on some of the real small ones, I cut some 1-inch material in that stack right there. It just made the most sense. So they said, you know, if it gets small, just cut what makes most sense. There's Danny hunting around. He was in the mood to get out this morning. He's been out 3 times already. I got to cut these 2 small birch logs right here, at least one of them. I think he really wants this one cut into 1-inch boards. I don't know about the other one. I'm going to cut it anyway. Still got one little cedar log lying around over here, and let's go show you. Oh, there he is. those two small cedar logs there. I'll show you my setup. This is all our offcuts. I throw these on Facebook Marketplace for $5 a piece for crafty people. You cannot believe the dirty ass comments I'm getting. I'm getting dirty comments. I mean, people, one woman last night, now you can always tell when they write their comment at like 2 o'clock in the morning and they're local to me, that there might be something else going on, but she accused me of smoking crack. I don't even smoke cigarettes. I don't even take aspirin. She accused me of smoking crack for putting them up there. And I thought about writing back, just saying, hey, look, you know, we're a forestry business. I don't want to waste anything, and I need to get something for my time, because you'll come out here and make me cull through the whole pile, you know, for one board for $5. So I got to get something out of it. But show you everything I tore up here. So let's start with this log dog right here. I don't know if you can see right in front of my finger, but there's a big old crack right there, right on that weld. I'm gonna have to trench that out because it's galvanized a little bit, and weld that. Probably gonna have to weld the bottom too. I haven't taken it off to see what the bottom looks like, but I assume it looks like top. It's supposed to look like that, like no crack and good penetration. That was a bad weld. The weld puddled up on itself. I also cut this log stop right plumb in two, like that. And I was thinking about ordering. I'm like, oh Jesus, I might need to order one right away. You can see where it cut right straight through it. It was over there on that. I had to swap them because I was still cutting away. I had that down at 1 inch up, and I hit it on a 2-inch high cut, and I cut right through it. So I was looking at it this morning. I had kind of beat it with a hammer back into kind of shape, and then it broke in half the rest of the way. But right now it's sitting perfect. So I think what I'm going to do is bring my buzz box out here and tack this corner just to keep the shape of it, and then I'll pull this pin out and I'll take it and I'll weld it both sides and put it back on. I was going to order a new one, and then I might still order a new one, but I think I can fix that one. It'll still work. The key to those is that when they lock down, they have to be below 1 inch so you can cut inch boards. So the only time I've really ever hit these things is when they're lower. They say, because they get a scale on them, when they say they're lower than I'm cutting, and I still hit them. Because sometimes what happens is when you clamp down, if you are using these, because you don't use them all the time. Most of the time they're like this. But when you got to grab the log and you use these, sometimes when you clamp down, this will jump up out of its seat and sit up like that. And when it sits up like that, it's way higher than when it's like that. So if you don't see it, and it's a round log, and maybe you're jostling the log around, and maybe you roll the log a little bit and it picks it up and it goes like that, that's when I hit them. So this is my small log setup right here. I take my log stop out of that one, the whole setup. You just pull that pin out and it pops out, and I pop it one in here where my log dog assist usually is, so that way I can cut logs that are at least 4'2". Some of their ones were only 4 foot and they don't fit, but anything that's over 4 feet, I can stick it in here and I can put 2 dogs on it so it doesn't twist all around. So that's a small setup. I'll show you what I did to the saw head. I just put a new clutch on it. We tore the clutch up, we tossed the belt, we blew a band off. Oh, she's still got a bunch of cedar in it. Stopped cutting late last night, so put the new heavy duty clutch on. This is like a $400 clutch. I've been running the $80 clutches. Make sure you can see. Hey, you can kind of see. So what happens with the other clutch, the cheaper clutches, the ones that are $80, is that there's a bolt in here with a big washer, and to get this in alignment with this and this, so that your belt's nice and straight, there's a collar on the engine shaft back here, you have to get in the right spot. And basically what I do is I put the collar on too far this way, and I just snug it so it can still move if I tap on it. And then I put the clutch on with a keyway, and I move the clutch back until I get it all in alignment, which pushes the collar backwards. Then I pull the clutch off and I tighten the collar down as tight as I can get it, then put the clutch on. Well, the problem here is that this bolt with the washer on it, there's a space in between it and the motor shaft when it's tightened down. It's pushing against the collar, but there's a space. The other clutch gets into this little bangy mode thing when it fills up with dust. It doesn't have a cover on the front like this one does. And when it fills up with dust, it gets into this banging mode, so it kind of bangs into gear. And when it bangs in and it hits, I think what's happening is with the rotation on it, the way that it clunks, as it would actually be rotating this way, but when it clunks, it's like an impact gun on that bolt, and the momentum, when it shocks, it makes that bolt tighten. So what ends up happening over time, if you use it, it clunks into gear and it clunks into gear, and it still drives the, everything, and it works. But what happens is that bolt tightens against that collar, and because of the impact of it, it very slowly and progressively pushes that collar backwards, and this clutch moves. It tightens itself in towards the motor, and then eventually it will get so far out of alignment that it actually tossed the belt off the back of the wheel. So band came shooting out, smashed into the cover here. The good thing about the plastic covers was it only one tooth. It wasn't this band, because the band that it was, good story, the testament to these covers, one tooth grabs the cover, it bends that tooth. I had to take it off because that tooth was bent. Well, I took a pair of pliers and I bent it back to 0 set, so it was like a raker tooth right in the middle, because it was a really sharp band and it hadn't hit anything. And I actually put it back on, and I cut out the majority of that cedar yesterday with that band that I threw, and it cut nice and smooth, and it did a really good job, and it cut fast until I cut that, and that was the end of that band. So I took a Stella Cut band that is waiting to be sharpened. That's got over 5,000 board feet on it, over 3,000 before I sharpened it, over 2,000 now since I sharpened it. And I threw that on and I cut with that, and that cut great. So I'm going to wear that one out today. I sharpened a couple more Stella Cut bands last night. So that one's going to get some use today to finish me up here. Then the other thing that I did was I came around to push the mill down, or to unlock the mill the other morning, and that foot was completely off that block. So that led me down the rabbit hole of level. So yesterday morning I went through and did a full level on the mill. It wasn't very far out, but it was a little bit out. This end was low, and one of the reasons that I had to do that is I had to adjust my guides for level on the saw band, because they were both out the opposite direction, so there's a little twist in the band, and I was getting some wavy cuts on that wood over there. And the only thing you have for reference to adjust those guides is you have level. So I had to make sure the mill was level to be able to adjust the guides back level, so I could take the twist out of the band. Looks like that has worked. Everything I've cut since I've done that has been nice and flat and smooth and no waves, and 2 different kinds of bands, and neither one of them was super good, and they're not particularly razor sharp. So to cut nice, flat, and smooth with bands that aren't razor sharp usually means on roller guides that they're set up pretty well. So that was another thing. So today I cut those two. I got to cut that one cedar right there, and I'm going to cut those birch logs. You can see the roof I just got done with on the garage out there. Once upon a time that was a barn, and now it's connected to the house, so we call it a garage. I just got done with that low 4-pitch roof, but I had to grab another bundle because I need like 8 more shingles to tie under some flashing that's up there. So I needed like 8 more shingles or 6 more shingles, I can't remember, but I got to go up there and do that. Hopefully tomorrow morning, because I think it's going to rain tomorrow night. I should still be waterproof, but got to go ahead and take care of that. So I want to give you guys an update. I did not video cutting that little cedar because it's very tedious and it doesn't take very long. The band cut great. I can show you the one tooth that I smashed out and then just bent it back so I could get cutting. I'll show you what it cut like. I can see the pattern right here on this little flitch. So after that thing threw it, after it threw the band, bent the tooth, and I just bent the tooth back so I could use it again. This is as good as it cut right here. Now you can see that one little line from probably another tooth in there bent somewhere, but that's all it was. That's all the line that it created for a band that got thrown off. So that was pretty good. Actually, it's interesting. Almost looks like there was a nail in this. I didn't hit a nail. I can't tell whether kind of looks like a nail. Yeah, looks like there might have been one there too. I haven't seen it, or maybe that's old. I don't have my knife on me. Maybe that's old little dinky teeny limbs. I'm not sure. That's interesting how it's got that stain color to it. So that's what's going on. We're going to finish up the cedar so they can come get all their logs out of here. I may not even cut that one. I didn't see that. I'm looking at it right now. It almost looks like it's got some rot in it. That cedar looks like it's got some rot in it. Might not even be worth cutting. Let's look at the other end. No, this end looks pretty good. I'll try it. And then this is actually this. I'm never really good with birch, but I think that is whatever I think is black birch is yellow birch, and whatever I think is yellow birch is black birch. So I think that is black birch. So got to cut some 1-inch boards out of that. That should be some neat stuff. I might even video that just so we can see what it looks like inside. Everybody knows what cedar looks like. So that's what's going on, and then we got monumental cleanup. So I'm gonna have to get those boards all stacked, and I got monumental cleanup over here. You know, I had this clean a couple days ago, and now with that big order over there and everything, it's a disaster again. So I got to get this all cleaned up, get that all cut up for the campwood bin and for inside the house for kindling, and get all the slabs put away. I got to put these someplace separate for now in case any of the crafty people want to come get them. And also, I think when I do my retaining wall, I might, if I don't sell these, I'll use these on my retaining wall, I think. It's going along here. It's going to be black locust logs with a flat side cut on them, and I'm going to use slab cuts on the outside, push all that dirt in behind it so it's nice and flat up there for the kiln. The kiln's going to go right there. So, and the rest of them I'll use black locust slab cuts out of over there for it, but maybe I'll use some of these. We'll see. Hopefully somebody's just going to come by, and Christ, I'd give them to them. If somebody came out in a pickup truck right now and said, oh, I want 2, I'd be like, give me $10 and take as many as you want. So got to get it out of here. It's not doing me any good sitting here. So that's what's up. I wanted to get a video out just to show you, and actually getting the point where I'm gonna have to start putting some, have to start keeping an eye on the temperature and I'm gonna have to start using antifreeze in the water a little bit, or shift over to windshield washer fluid with the low temp windshield washer fluid. So I did get some, I'm going to put these up on Facebook Marketplace too. I got some boards back. This was the enclosed farmer's porch oak that I was milling. He had enough and he brought me back what he didn't use. So I think I'm going to put these up for like $5 a piece on Facebook Marketplace too. 3/4 by 5.5. Some of them are even planed. He ran some of them through his planer, and these were just the ones that he didn't use. You can see that one actually, he skipped playing that one a little bit. I can see the snipe from his planer on the end. He didn't go all the way down though, because I can see where it hit and he stopped. So these are pretty nice oak boards, and see if I can blow these out for $5 a piece too. Somebody will want them. I put that black oak up the other time when I had the leftovers, and they blew right out. You know, people were fighting over them. So that's what's going on, and I hope you guys are all having a great morning. Hope your coffee's warm. Hope it's warm wherever you are. If it's not, I feel for you. We're getting there. I got to get back on firewood and get that roof dried in, get this thing put to bed so I can cover it up, and hopefully won't run it for a few days. Probably till next week, till we start cutting that oak. I probably won't run it the rest of this week. I got to get this whole yard cleaned up and get ready to start milling some oak. So we'll be hitting metal and we'll be wrecking bands, and it's just going to be a disaster. I got 9,000 bands to sharpen. I got to get my sharpening station set up in my new shed over there, and where Danny's walking around. So onward and upward, and I'm going to finish these up, and I will see you again soon. Hopefully I might even video cutting that birch log. Probably will. So I might see you almost in the snap of the fingers. But for now, for Danny and myself and that whole pile of little beautiful little cedar here, this is Pirate Solutions out.